Welcome along, people, to another great, thrilling night of sim racing, sim racing online, to be precise. We're at Sebring in Florida, so United States. A great heritage track in the south of the U.S. A track that was built around the mid 40s, actually, based on an airport. An American airport, and it immediately became a sensation in sports car racing. Most of the first endurance racing in the U.S. were conducted here. In fact, in the early 50s, the first 12 hours of Sebring being won by the first ever Chevrolet Corvette produced, the C1 Stingray, I think it was. And so yeah, great to be here. The final round of the S397 Endurance series, the IMSA series. So yeah, the six rounds. Unfortunately, one of them was cancelled due to the servers of R Factor 2 being down pretty much. But yeah, there we are. 6.2 kilometers of pure bumps and heavy racing. The cars are gonna be put to a test because the Sebring track is famous for its tough surface, and the curbs are sharp as well. So drivers will need to be careful with the driving style. As always, I am joined by Nassim.
Yeah, hello everyone and welcome back. Hopefully my voice isn't scuffed enough this time because I checked back last time on the headphones. It sounds a bit scuffy, so hopefully we get that sorted out. Welcome back again. Thanks Lorenzo for being with me again. We got a race today, Sebring, 17 turns, 6.2 kilometers, and a long way of bumps, just like Lorenzo said. It's going to be exciting, isn't it, Lorenzo?
No, absolutely, and this is one of the best tracks that where you can have a multi-class race. In fact, most of the new LMP1 cars and the hypercars, in fact, racing here. Sebring has signed a contract, a multi-year contract with the WEC as well as IMSA to host races here. Of course, the 12 hours of Sebring being replaced by the 1,000 miles of Sebring, so distance is about half, slightly more than half of what it used to be. That's for sustainability issues. As we were saying, this is the final round of the SimRacingOnline IMSA series. If you want to be part of the spectacle on SimRacingOnline, go check them out. They have a very well organized website with plenty of sim racing games, as well as competitions, and all the guys are very friendly, and they can help you if you need any help. They're really nice people, passionate people about racing as well. I say this is the final round, and I say it with a bit of tears in my eye because I really enjoyed the commentary of this series. I loved broadcasting, and I also say this because it's going down to the wire. We have eithracingteam battling with Flying Crowbar Racing in the GT3 class. They're pretty much tied on points, so it will be interesting to see who will come out on top. Of course, eithracingteam with Nicola Pastore and Giuseppe Pastore, whereas Flying Crowbar is racing. is racing with Johnny Gutierrez and Rob Milliken. And there's another fight going on in DPI class. DPI is, of course, the IMSA prototypes of made by Dallara, Acura, and Mazda. I should say Cadillac, but the chassis is from Dallara anyway. So the three-way fight going on in prototype as well. We have Samir Arshad, Gilles de Silva, and John Villegas battling over the top spot in the driver's standings. Samir Arshad, unfortunately, already out of it because he needed a no-show from Gilles de Silva to be in contention. So it's all going down between John Van de Gest and Gilles de Silva, and it's going to be one hell of a battle.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when you have these type of drivers that we saw in previous races, if you haven't, please check them out on the SimRacingOnline YouTube channel. All the VODs are there. And if you were with us from the beginning, you could see the fight and the rivalry starting from all the way in the first season. Actually, that was in the second because one of our drivers had to change classes due to some issues. But the battle has been on fire the whole season. Unfortunately, we got some... we don't know if VD Guest will make it. He had some back pain or something like that. So we're gonna keep you posted in that. But so far, it's the Silva as the champion. Wow, didn't expect that, Lorenzo.
Yeah, and the Silva has been the guy, not the fastest guy, but surely the most consistent, getting podiums after podiums in pretty much every race. So a great showing by the American driver, and for sure a well-deserved runner-up position for now. So let's see if he can capitalize on his experience. Now we're watching Samir Arshad putting his record lap in the first sector.
I think he went wide there, Lorenzo.
Yeah, he went slightly wide, missed the apex, but got away with it. It's still a pretty competitive time. His first sector was about 2/10 better than his previous, and it was the fastest by just shy of 1/10 of a second. Although he did lose quite a bit in that second sector. We're coming up now towards the famous 180 turns, the sunset curves at the end of the lap. Very bumpy section after this backstretch. There we see the DPI pointing towards the apex, extremely speed. And almost losing it, Samir Arshad really on the edge.
It's looking like a good lap.
Yeah, it is a good lap.
It puts him but 1.4 second provisionally in the pole. Nice lap.
Yeah, it was an amazing effort from Samir Arshad, and for sure this is going to be a massive psychological blow to the other DPI drivers, as we now see Andrew Harper, the only Mazda in the field with that amazing rotary engine tribute livery. Oh, getting slightly out of shape in the airpin there, going around the second sector.
It looks like he lost all of his time in the first sector, 1.4 second down of the best.
Yeah, he had probably encountered traffic in his lap. I'm pretty sure he's going to be able to have another shot of the lap. Andrew Harper, as we know, a very, very quick driver. Kind of unfortunate that some situations in the last few races found himself battling with some unwanted company. We now see Gil da Silva in the... Actually, I'm surprised. He has a Mazda too. I didn't notice that. Anyway, in the second sector he lost quite a bit of time. Not sure he's going to be able to match Arshad's time. In fact, it's a 1:53.2.
Yeah, he stays where he was.
It's still a good enough position for him. As we know, he's top of the standings. So no pressure on him.
Yeah, but take a look at this, Lorenzo. A newcomer, and
Mike Wolick switching from GT3 to DPI, so he's making the change in his sim racing career, wanting to try the prototypes in the last race. And what better place than Sebring?
I think I just saw a car.
There was look at that. That's a BMW. I think that's one of the Pastore boys, if I'm correct, or maybe Johnny Gutierrez. Johnny Gutierrez is in the pit lane, so it's not him. Was one of the BMW anyway, out of the second to last corner before the backstretch. There probably had a spin during his lap. Mike Wolick with a 150.168, a good lap. Puts himself into P2 at the moment.
I don't think Samir is gonna see that as
Samir's gonna do another lap to be safe, completely safe from Mike. That was a good effort.
Indeed, Pastore in the lead once again. Tony Talviti, that's a man I really wanted to see in the races. So good to see him back. A man with a great pace and a lot of potential when it comes to pure racing, so it's good to see him back. I believe he was, that was in the last series where he was on the LMP. And this time around he's in the GT3 cars. And I think so far he's doing a pretty good job. He's
Yeah,
holding.
as we said many times, Tony Talvicia easily the most versatile driver in the field. He was able to almost challenge for the championship in the Ginetta LMP1 car last season. So he now made the switch to the GT3 car, which is a more challenging car in terms of downforce and grip whatsoever. The GT3, as we know, generating a huge amount of mechanical grip in the corners, but not as much downforce via aerodynamic means like the DPI does. Of course, DPI being a larger and different spec of cars rather than the GT3. So really, really good to see Talvice back. As we know, he was never racing here for this season. It was out of from the last two races. So good to see him back, and immediately he is showing that he is competitive anyway.
Oh, I mean, I raced against Tony Talviti, and it's been years. I know Tony Talviti. He's always had that great pace. I learned a lot from him for sure, and it's always great to have him in the series. But let's not get our eyes mistaken on the Johnny Gutierrez now. He's not that. He's only half a second now behind Tony Talviti, so he's definitely looking forward to improve on his lap time and possibly get up, because I believe Johnny Gutierrez, from what I've been told, he must finish in the podium in order to secure the championship, even if Nicola wins. So
Yes, Johnny needs a podium place for to seal the drivers' championship. Nicola is trailing him by I think 18 points. I think. Let me check the standings. Actually, I will double check and come back to you on that one.
as we see Barrett Ericsson improving his first sector, still with the McLaren rocking his usual livery. It's good to see Barrett Ericsson as well in the race, the final race of this series, as we see him go into one of the most trickiest corners, because there's a long straight coming up right after. So you better keep your minimum speed as high as you can. But it definitely
you have to prepare. You have to prepare that right-hander before there's a long and large runoff area on the left before that turn. So you can just put a couple tires there, prepare the apex, and then point your front end towards the inside curb. Get maximum acceleration, and off into the backstretch you go. And really, what counts here is the exit from the corner, not the actual top speed, because then you have to really brake, but kind of coast around the bumps of the sunset curve here before you start another lap. So great to see the McLaren being competitive here. Of course, we know the McLaren has a monocoque chassis, the only monocoque chassis car here in the GT3 field. So a very rigid car, very responsive but tricky to set up. So great to see Barrett Ericsson being able to show his skills in the McLaren.
Oh yeah, definitely. As I would like to take everyone on a lap with Pastore, who's so far the fastest right now, setting up a lap of a 157.5, and that is 1.4 second. Excuse the lag right there. That was 1.4 second faster than Tony Talviti, who's done a 158.9. So it's looking the gap difference, Lorenzo, it's huge this time.
Yeah, it's a big difference. Sebring, of course, highlighting the skills of the driver. So Nicola Pastore proving to be a very skilled racer. Of course, Sebring is a very tricky track. So you need to have a balanced car, because top speed is important, but you also have these medium short range corners that the demand from the car, demand downforce and grip from the car. You also have to work on the suspension, because obviously the bumps take away some time from the lap time. So it's a very difficult to race Sebring. It always has been, always will be probably, if they maintain this layout. Of course, Sebring having had almost 7 massive changes to the layout. The most recent one happened in 1990 actually, when the old GTP category was around. They were using Group C cars, and the previous layout of the track was deemed too dangerous, and they changed it to what we now have today. They enlarged the runoff areas and it's a safe track overall.
Yeah, it is a safe track indeed, but in real life, a lot of drivers don't like the bumpy side when it comes to this track. It is indeed very bumpy when it comes to the surface.
Yeah, it's absolutely painful as these cars can absorb a certain amount of energy, but the drivers really take the damage here. As we now see Nicola Story really wrestling that BMW around the first sector as we now get into the dying stages of qualifying. Checker flag, of course, being shown. And look at that, Mike Volik snatches pole position from
Wow,
Rashad
what a nice job by half a second,
4/10 of a second.
That is quite a lap.
Yeah, that's quite remarkable. Almost half a second. And what a timing as well in the last possible attempt. I don't think Samir is gonna be able to react to that. As we now see Nicola Pastore, look at him applying the throttle with absolute precision in these fast sweeping left-handers. He now goes towards the final sector, just touching the curb on the inside, leaning hard on the outside curb. Now pointing the car towards the left for this fast corner. Absolutely breathtaking from Nicola Pastore as we now go towards the second to last corner. We see it. You see how he put 2 tires on the tarmac outside the white line, and he had a perfect entry in the right-hander.
What an astonishing
He's improving.
lap. Yeah.
Let's see what he does.
I mean,
Time to
what
beat
else?
is a 48.
He's,
But that 48 is obviously the DPI time.
yeah, we have all the.
Almost kissing the wall on the outside. Absolute magnificent by Nicola Pastore. Now goes
57
overall in GT3. What a lap!
What a lap!
What
That has
lap.
to be a record, I believe.
That's very close to the actual record for the GT3 class.
Yeah, astonishingly good lap. I mean, I'm I'm speechless. As we see Tony Talviti doing a 58.9, wasn't able to improve, and so does Johnny Gutierrez, which gives Carl Middleton the upper hand to snatch that P3 from Johnny Gutierrez. Not looking very good though.
Johnny Gutierrez will need to make something out of that because, of course, running in P4 would actually gift him the championship by 8 points, given that Nicola Pastore wins the race. Nicola needs Johnny to finish 7th or lower in order to win the driver's title in GT3 class. So it's all going down to the wire. Nothing is, you cannot take anyone out of the equation, as we have learned in many races here on SRO.
Oh, indeed. I mean, the race turns out to be very different when it comes, because it's a 92-minute race. There's pit stops, there's strategy going on. Well, obviously, pure pace is something you should rely on, but there's many more things that comes with that, things that can't be predicted. So it's definitely going to be interesting for sure. I'm looking forward to
absolutely.
this.
And as we now see, if you check the pit lane, you will see a couple flags and years written next to them. That's the winners of the 12 hours of Sebring. As we can see, the Ferrari boys had dominated the early 60s. But then, of course, Chaparral came along. And we know Chaparral was the first car, in fact, to use ground effect efficiently in motor racing, especially on closed cockpit cars. And we can now see the transition towards Porsche dominating the 80s and a good chunk of the 90s as well. Of course, with the 925 and the 956. As well as Ford, a couple of Ford wins in the 1966 with the iconic GT40 and the different version that came along, the GT40 project in the late 60s and early 70s. We also got to see a couple of Japanese constructors. We now switch to the qualifying order. Arshad Samir attaining pole position, so we missed that actually. Arshad was able to improve. Mike Volik in P2, John Vidiguest, the third DPI. Of course, that's wrong because the game doesn't recognize the Mazda as a DPI. So we know that Andrew Harper and Gil da Silva are both in front of John Vidiguest. So Andrew Harper P3, Gil da Silva P4, and John Vidiguest P5. Nicola Pastore starts on pole for GT3 class. Tony Talvice, of course, in P2 with the BMW. Carl Middleton P3. Johnny Gutierrez in P4. Middleton, great to have in P5. Salvatore Pastore in P6. An old BMW top 6 pretty much. As we now go forward, Rob Milliken, teammate of Johnny Gutierrez, P9. Jason Whitehead, the first Porsche of the field, in P10. Ed Jones with that fresh McLaren livery in P11. As we now go to Giuseppe Pastore in P13. He missed qualifying as well as Joe Wang, the rookie this season pretty much, after his amazing race in Austria, only abruptly ended by a contact with one of the Bentleys, I believe. Yeah, as I was saying, Sebring is an iconic track, and we're going to have an iconic race today as well. So stay with us, boys. If you want to be a part of the spectacle, go check simracingonline.co.uk or check eithracingteam on Discord and all the social channels in the chat.
Indeed, and if you come up and post something in our chat, our live chat, we could possibly reply to you if we get the chance to do so.
For sure. And last but not least, join us in the post-race ceremony, where we will interview some of the racers from this amazing event.
Yes, as always we do, and yeah, quite some liveries today, Lorenzo. Sometimes I'm not sure if it's...
Yeah, it's...
yeah?
I think Sebring takes the artistic side of most drivers. So maybe that's the reason why we're seeing such iconic liveries here. Of course, one of my favorites is the Mazda livery of Andrew Harper. That's one of the most characteristic liveries I've seen all season.
Speaking of
with
which,
the
almost
rotary
loses
engine
it, and then
almost loses it.
That's
he's collected by one of the GT3. Fortunately for him, it's just warm up.
I mean,
of course, Andrew will not want to do that in the race.
Could have been worse. Could have been worse for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And it's this was one of the things that we were saying earlier. The sunset curve at the end of the track is the bumpiest section, and you do not want to get caught out by the rough surface of the track. Of course, the prototypes are much more sensitive to those, as they are rigid cars and overall stiffer kind of suspension setting. Whereas the GT3 cars tend to have softer suspension ratios, and springs can help a lot. Andrew Harper getting loose in the middle of the corner, tried to catch it, but there was Giuseppe Pastore just clipping the back of the DPI. Warm-up is over, so we will shortly jump to the warm-up lap procedure for the race, as we now see Salvatore Pastore, the last guy on the track, still yet to go to the pits. There we go. Ooh, and what a better setting.
Yeah,
what a better setting than the sunset.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Look at that. Look at that for a snapshot.
That is beautiful.
Of course, all the drivers will now join the track to start the race. Samir Arshad is still in the pits, probably double checking on the setup. There we go. Look at that for a photo, man. That was that's pretty iconic.
Yeah, we will try not to show the names on top of the car so it doesn't look messy for the viewers, but we will enable them in mid-race so you guys can recognize who you're watching. But we'll definitely keep you posted for sure as the warm-up lap starts. Samir Arshad leads the pack, followed by Volik, the newcomer, or should I say the guy who switched from the GT3 but new to the LMP DPI world. but definitely a great performance today. Looks like he could have got that P1, but we somehow missed the lap of Samir, or something must have went wrong. But still good results for him, as Andrew Harper is right behind them now doing their laps. You can see only 4 cars. That's because I think it's
one thing
confirmed.
I am looking at is that Mike Volik does not have headlights on. That may be an issue later in the race. As we know, we're gonna go into the night. And one other thing is John Vitiges will not race, will not take part in the race, so he's at the pits. Will stay probably in the pit lane, as we know he has a light injury in his shoulder. Of course, we hope he can recover fast and be back on the track.
Absolutely, Vitiges is such a lovely guy, such an exciting guy to have. We had him obviously in the last interview we had. So we're gonna miss out on him, but we got many more races to go, so look out for that for sure. But yeah, I have to agree with you, Lorenzo, on the headlights. I don't know if you get a DQ or a drive-through.
Yeah, the game gives you a couple warnings, after which you get disqualified from the race. So I hope Mike Volik will have that checked out before the warning comes up, because and also I'm actually confused. I think one of the Mazdas also doesn't have the headlights on. Samir surely has them. Oh no, the Mazda do have the headlights on. Never mind. So yeah, Samir in the Acura leading the pack in this warm-up procedure. Mike Volik, the other Acura of the field, right behind him. And then we have 2 Mazdas in third and fourth. Nicola Pastore, the first one of the BMWs in GT3. Carl Middleton in P3, that's the guy I'm looking for in the race. It's gonna be a great race, I think.
Oh, I definitely agree with that, 100%. As Samir trying to warm up his tires, his brakes. Definitely don't need to, but you gotta watch out for that turn 1, because sometimes if you got a better pace, you don't want to be stuck behind a car that is potentially slower.
Oh, absolutely. And also the fact that you don't have a heavy braking zone into turn 1 doesn't mean you don't have to hit your brakes, because right after turn 1 there's a short chute of asphalt, and then a heavy braking zone into turn 2, 3, and 4 complex, which makes for a heavy braking zone as well. And so you need to calibrate what you do on the formation lap. And as we now see them going towards Sunset Curve, and we will be shortly racing. So your shot lines up the last corner.
Buckle up, get ready to go, and I'll let it for you, Lorenzo.
Green flag about to wave. And we're racing at Sebring. Samir gets a great start and retails his P1. Mike Volik surely under pressure from the Mazdas behind. Gilles da Silva letting Harper go, and as we now switch to the GT3 field, look at those BMWs. Carl Middleton taking P2 from Tony Talvici and Johnny Gutierrez. I told you Carl Middleton would have gone fast. And Nicola Pastore retained P1, so he did what he needed to do. He now needs to build the gap immediately, and the guys behind him. Barrett Ericsson there fighting with all those BMWs, as we now see Ed Jones lost out pretty heavily. He's now last. Didier Coelho, the only Ferrari in the field, also in a skirmish with what I believe to be Giuseppe Pastore, actually. So yeah, look at that for a field. The GT3 cars absolutely tucked in behind each other. The Bentley of Joe Brown struggling to keep Salvatore Pastore in his sights, but it's too early to really say anything about that. We still do not know the pace potential of these cars, so let's see. Samir Rashad leads, then Mike Volik 2 seconds behind. Andrew Harper in P3, Gilles da Silva in P4. So the grid of the DPIs are pretty much confirmed. Nicola Pastore in P1, Carl Middleton P2, Talvici P3, Johnny Gutierrez just behind him. We now see Giuseppe Pastore trying to make a move on Rob Milliken, and this is critical for the Constructors' Championship because we know Either Racing Team is battling with the Flying Crowbar, and Giuseppe Pastore drives for Either, while Rob Milliken races for the opposite team, Flying Crowbar. We now see Giuseppe lining up the red BMW of Rob Milliken for the last corner. That's not really an overtaking place.
Does take the inside for sure. As we see the sunset, so beautiful, but let's not get our eyes.
Giuseppe Pastore makes the move stick, great maneuver. And there's a yellow flag in sector 3, and that's Salvatore Pastore already. Drama at Sebring. That's one of the main contenders for the top step of the podium. Salvatore Pastore probably with damage. Look at that, he's going into the pits.
Big. Something must
have happened between him and what I believe to be Middleton, actually. Not sure though. See what happened. He's battling there with one of the Lewis Middleton, yeah, and
ooh, I think he did it on his own. Oh my god!
And a heavy contact into the barrier there by Salvatore Pastore. Loses the rear wing.
Yeah.
A heavy contact with the tire barrier outside the sunset curve.
I think he missed out on his braking point, probably.
No, I believe he was caught out by Lewis Middleton getting slightly out of shape.
Yeah, look, it's so hard to
in the last corner.
Straight without the wing, of course.
Probably steering damage as well. That was a big contact with the front axle. So immediately drama at Sebring. Salvatore Pastore is forced to go to the pit lane for repairs. That's gonna be costly for him. As we now see the DPI class leading all the sparks coming from the floor of the DPI Acura. Samir Arshad lining for the second time now towards the front straightaway.
He's put in a great show. Samir Arshad, another yellow in sector 3.
Absolutely.
See the sparks in the night, looks damn beautiful. Look at that.
Yeah.
I don't think we should take Mike out of this battle yet. I mean,
absolutely not. He's hounding Samir meter by meter, and look at the onboard shot. Sebring always delivers. What a great track.
Absolutely. As Samir sets up a best time, and not sure if Mike is aware
that's actually qualifying material, a 50.2. That's a great lap.
That is amazing for sure, yeah. But I think Mike is also know that because he gets close in the middle sector, as you can see, but then he drops out at the. I think he's running a bit high downforce than what Samir is, which is why he's able to catch up in the high-speed corners. But when it comes to the straight line speed,
Samir looks to have better acceleration out of corners, although Mike Volek seems to have the better car under braking. So it's an all-even battle. Now, let's see what Mike can do to apply the pressure on the Italian driver in front, as we now switch to Didier Coelho's onboard in the Ferrari, battling with that amazing Porsche of Jason Whitehead. I forgot to give the props to Jason for that livery. I really love the design.
Oh, absolutely. We're seeing some art there as well.
Oh my, yeah, for sure. And look at Jason Whitehead struggling to slow the thing down behind Barrett Eriksson and Rob Milliken.
I mean, this is a great battle. It's not for 14th, as you guys see. It's the battle for the 9th. It's just because they're mixed. It's mixed. It's the overall 14, but it's the battle for the 10th position. It includes Rob, Jason, Didier, Coelho, so close to each other, but it's going to be very tricky for Coelho to get past both of them because all of them are fighting at the same time.
Yeah, and amazing to see the Porsche being able to compete against two very different cars. The Ferrari, obviously a mid-engine car, rear-wheel drive, engine being put behind the cockpit, as we now see Lewis Middleton with Johnny Gutierrez. This is an amazing battle because Johnny Gutierrez will want to cover himself up. Lewis Middleton not wanting to back out from it, and look at the run he has on Johnny.
I mean, this is not looking good for Gutierrez. He's currently P4, and I believe this is not a position for him to win the championship.
I think it is. I think he has to stay over the top 7, I think.
Well, then he's definitely looking good. Then.
Although he needs to keep his position because Lewis Middleton will want to have a piece of that.
Yeah, he's definitely swarming him, peeking that inside, trying to fake it, make him go wide. kind of succeed. No, not it's still like good.
Yeah, Johnny got away with that.
Yeah, absolutely. He knows this is not a position for him to get any passing, so he's just gonna try to apply the pressure, force him.
It's so difficult for Lewis to follow up in those low corners. We have seen aerodynamic wash up from the BMW of Johnny Gutierrez, with Lewis going slightly wide onto the curbs, but Johnny Gutierrez really working well under braking. He was able to gap a little more than he was before. Lewis Middleton being usual Lewis Middleton, we know, putting the pressure on the guy in front of him, making sure he doesn't run any unnecessary risks with a beautiful blue livery.
Oh, absolutely. I think he's running a custom. Yeah, he is for sure.
Yeah, that's a pretty particular half blue, half black livery.
Yeah,
that's very nice.
It might be glitchy, I believe, but very interesting. Now we go back to our leaders and
Nicola Pastore, 8 seconds, almost 9 seconds towards Carl Middleton now. So
I mean, he's lapping a 50.
He's doing everything he needs to do. So
if I tell you, Lorenzo, that his last lap was faster than the quali lap of Tony Talviti in the quali, who was P2. So he's lapping.
Yeah, that
2
gives
seconds.
you an idea of how fast Nicola is going right now.
I think by the end of the race, he'd probably be like 2, 3, or 1 lap ahead of everyone if he keeps up this pace. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Dominating performance by Nicola. But Carl Middleton and Tony Talviti still have an open battle for that P2. As you saw him right behind him right there, taking up turn 1. So it's not over yet for the battle for the podium. Tony Talviti.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, 2.4 seconds. Not that far to gain.
No, look at him. He's right there. So still plenty of time to go into the race. So Carl Middleton does not have to put the foot up and let the pace go up, because he needs to keep in mind that Tony Talvice is behind him. Look at Mike Volick closing up on Samir. The battle for P1 overall is getting spiced up.
I mean, talk about putting the pressure. It's definitely doing that, I can see. Ooh,
look at the speed Mike Volick is able to carry around the sunset curve there. Samir Rashad struggling to keep the DPI under control there. Look at the light ablaze on the Acuras as they go to turn 1 once again. Mike Volick going for it. Backs out of it.
Yeah, I think it was a smart move to do it there, but putting the pressure is definitely...
Lost kind of bit of time though.
Yeah, but it sets up a 49-1. He's definitely throwing everything at Samir now, trying to get him in the early stages. Definitely has to watch out for his tires, but I think the man knows what he's doing.
I think so as well. As we now see Gil da Silva overtake Andrew Harper. Gil da Silva in P3, the overall standing leader on the podium places. Andrew Harper fell back quite a bit. Maybe he made a mistake. He's now on the edge. Yeah, he's on the edge. He's pushing.
Yeah. As Mike gets closer and closer again. This is definitely looking interesting. Will he have enough to get past Samir? Definitely looking forward to that. It looks like he's always trying to fake a dive of some sort. I think he should just focus on getting a good exit and take that split stream into a long straight, which is definitely coming up right now. 2 corners, that is. Lorenzo, did I just saw a Nissan Z400 ad right there?
Probably, maybe.
Wow, that was interesting. Definitely look at that in the next lap. As we
I'll
see,
tell you what, Sebring is a place where motorsports unite. So even if it's an American track, you might see Japanese advertises. And,
absolutely. I mean, we
now see Mike Volick almost going, almost kissing the barriers there, really going for it.
I think the split stream is affecting him. What do you think, Lorenzo?
I think so, and as we now, I want to switch to Giuseppe Pastore because he's all over Johnny Gutierrez, and that's again critical for both driver and constructors title. Giuseppe lining up Johnny Gutierrez as well. He's going for it on the inside.
Ooh, gets the job done.
Makes the move stick. Good move by Giuseppe Pastore. Johnny Gutierrez probably playing it safe at this stage.
Yeah, but he's losing too many positions, Lorenzo. That's not looking good.
Yeah, it's now P5. It needs to keep that P5. Otherwise, it's gonna be under pressure from the faster guys behind him.
Yeah, I'm definitely worried about Johnny Gutierrez, as he's losing too many positions as before he started. So yeah.
Oh, and Giuseppe Pastore almost sideways there on the curves.
I think he knew the camera was there, so decided to give us a shot.
As we now have a look at the replay with Giuseppe Pastore overtaking Johnny Gutierrez.
Ooh, such a clean move.
Yeah, clean dive up the inside. Makes the move stick with ease. Johnny Gutierrez probably not fighting too hard to play it safe. If we go back to the live stream, Giuseppe Pastore being able to build a little gap between him and Johnny Gutierrez, as Mike Wolick continues hounding Arshad for that
P1. They were
P1.
passing the traffic, so...
Yeah, they reached Ed Jones, which is the penultimate GT3 car. Of course, Salvatore Pastore in last place in GT3 after that heavy contact with the barriers outside of the last corner. I'll tell you what though, he was lucky that was last corner and not earlier in the lap, because he didn't lose the time he would have lost if that was the case, because he went into the pit lane immediately.
Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely a lucky position to be in. I mean, when it comes to racing, the luck doesn't play a big part, but it definitely plays a part. I mean, if you're in the
yeah,
right
for
time,
sure, and I have always believed that you build your own luck. So maybe he knew that if you want to run a risk, you might as well risk it in the last corner, so you have the pit lane right there waiting for you. So it's still a long way into the race, so we'll see if Salvatore can fight back.
But we can definitely not say that about Didier Coelho, because to me it looks like he's stuck behind Jason Ryder, definitely closer to him, but not close enough to make that pass.
Yeah, the Ferrari has been kind of 50-50 in Sebring. The mid-engine car looks to be the more stable, but it's also slow, and Arshad Samir going into the back of Didier Coelho. And that gives Mike Wolick a great chance now into the last corner. Yeah, Samir Arshad protecting the inside, and Mike Wolick going for it anyway.
He did get the inside, yeah.
Good
stuff right there, but he has some traffic.
I think he loses it almost.
Oh my god, such a hard...
Yeah, he was able to hold it, but that gives Samir now a great chance into turn 1.
Is he gonna dive it?
Backs out of it.
Oh my god. My heart skipped a beat there, Lorenzo. Because he was definitely going sideways for longer than I expected.
Yeah, but he was able to keep it on the track. There was an amazing car control there by Mike Wolick, for sure.
Yeah, you gotta give it to the man for such a car control right there in desperate moment. As Samir Arshad gets in line and has the traffic, so it's gonna be tricky to get the move here.
Mike Wolick, and he dives around the inside, goes straight on.
That was definitely not something.
Kind of optimistic.
Yeah, I mean, he tried. I don't know if he missed his braking point again. But he lost about 5 seconds now behind.
Yeah, Mike Wolick is gone. Samir will have to rebuild his race for now. He needs to keep his nerves under control for sure. That was an optimistic move. Maybe he went, he took evasive action. Maybe he didn't expect Mike Wolick to brake early. As we see Andrew Harper into the pit lane, that's very early. Not even 20 minutes into the race, Andrew Harper is in the pit lane.
Probably have collected some damage.
Maybe a puncture because he's changing only the right tires.
Yeah, looks like the car was jacked. Oh, there you go, it's jacked again to the left. So he's changing some left and rear tires. Sorry, right and left tires. Yeah, that is both front and rear possibly, because it's taking a long time right there. Samir Arshad is definitely trying to get back into that because it's now 2 seconds, so he's not that far, but he should definitely be careful when it comes to those lunges. You see the beautiful, almost gets
Bentley didn't realize that Sam was alongside him.
As we will show you the pass that was done by Mike Volek right now.
Yeah, Mike Volek around the inside.
But then look at that, almost loses it. Sorry, almost loses it right here. I mean, he was drifting pretty much, but managed to keep up the throttle. I mean, when it's down, flat out. Samir saw that, but yeah. This is the time. Oh, there goes Samir. This is the moment where, yeah. Yeah, but I think the track awareness of Mike Volek might have saved him there, because if he hadn't seen Samir coming up, that would have been a horrible crash indeed.
Samir now 16 seconds behind Mike Volek. That was a costly mistake by Arshad. It will surely have damaged part of the floor, possibly. Harper is still in the pits. That's more than 2 minutes, so he's surely taking repairs for some damage he collected earlier.
Which, given the Silva, the champion of this series, so far as it stands, the podium. So this is what it pays to show up in every race. You get the chance of possibly becoming a champion. If you don't miss any of your race, so shout out to the man for being present.
Absolutely.
All the time.
To finish first you have to finish. So.
I mean, this is a literal definition of that.
And rightfully so, Gil da Silva in P3 at the moment, showing great pace in the Mazda.
Yeah, I believe he's got things to work on for sure, so you shouldn't take this with too much or unnecessary.
And that was a GT car going into the pit lane. That was Lewis Middleton.
Yeah.
From P4, I think.
Yeah, he was battling Joe Brown for the P6. Then decided to go in the
That's an early pit stop, so we are already seeing people probably getting caught out by the drop of the temperatures as we go into the night.
I think the tire degradation is playing a big role here, so we'll probably see more than one stop for sure.
Probably graining as the track gets colder.
Very likely.
Short stop overall, maybe just a splash and dash of fuel, 25 seconds of stationary time for Lewis Middleton. He will now rejoin race in what I believe to be P11 in GT3. Meanwhile, Joe Juan, the guy we just saw in the BMW, has made up 9 places from the start. How about that?
That is something to be proud of. Same goes for Giuseppe, 11 places as he started from the back. Yes, he rightfully deserves that podium place he's in right now. But I'm really liking the livery of Joe Brown, the neon vibes at the night. It looks beautiful.
And such an iconic livery as well. He was using this on the Porsche in the previous season. Look at the brakes glowing red at the front of the Bentley. Car which was not expected to do so good at Sebring, but as we know, Joe Brown is able to extract everything from the machine. So good to see him fight for the top 5 there.
I mean, he definitely got used to the car for now. Probably done like 4 or 5 races. Yeah, I think 4 races or 5 probably with it. So I think he's mostly familiarized with the handling, as we see Joe Juan going the last corner.
And he's going into the... No, he's not going to the pit. I thought for a second he was going for the inside line, which hints towards the pit lane, usually.
I think they see others going, which gives them the urge, because I don't know the tire degradation going on right now, so it might have tempted other drivers to do, but I think Joe Juan decided to stay out for now, which, as us viewers, looks like the right move, but we cannot tell. It's too early to decide on that. It's Barrett Ericsson, 3.4 seconds behind Juan, so he hasn't pitted yet. Definitely looking for a strategy, as we've known Barrett Ericsson to be the man to come up with strategies that gave him the wins in the previous series 2 times consecutively as we get a yellow in September. As we hit down to the leader, Mike Volek, 16 seconds now ahead of Samir. Not sure what happened to Samir because he wasn't that far behind, but now it seems like he dropped a long way down in the 20 seconds now. But he still got the strategy to play for. Definitely could get that time back if you can get the strategy. If you can get your strategy right. As Mike Volek is about to pass the leader of the GT3 class. He definitely doesn't want to rush this, take his time. I mean, he's already 20 seconds ahead, so no need for any dramatic moves.
Mike Volek going for the move there in before the turn 3-4 complex. Sorry. Tricky section to get right. It's sequential corners. You miss one, you miss all 3 of them. So you need to be precise with the steering input on the car. Keep your minimum speed as high as you possibly can. Then off you go into the front straight, the back straight, before the hairpin there at Sebring with that iconic building behind you. You want to leave that as far as you can, accelerating towards the right-hander, now right on board with Mike Volek. Left sweeping corners, fast, flat out. Then another right-hander, heavy braking here. You need to keep the steering input constant on the car because the track fades away from you. Now fast left, again fast left, don't touch the curbs. Brake hard into the right-hander, lean on the curb on the outside. Prepare for the right-hander there and onto the backstretch we go. Lean hard on the curb on the outside again. Maximum speed. All the way to 6th gear, possibly. Then brake slightly, point the car towards the right. Bear the pain of the bumps. And once again, we brace for another lap at Sebring International Raceway. What a great track this is.
And I believe that Jones got past. Actually, we'll take a look.
Oh, Joe Wang! What happened? Joe Wang DNF.
Wow.
Something must have happened to Joe Wang.
Yeah, so that's why Ed Jones got ahead, because I saw that in the lifetime and then I didn't know what was happening.
Ed Jones doing his job pretty good so far. Maximizing his possibilities with the McLaren. I don't think he ever... he was never able to maximize the package that he had with the McLaren. Joe Huang, of course, DNF, what a shame. It was lining up to be a great race for him. It was P6 and running strongly. So maybe a connection issue, possibly, or some kind of software problem on the BMW.
We're going back in time, Lorenzo. I definitely don't see how that happened.
Probably connection, because we missed it completely. So I suppose he came into the pit lane.
Yeah, and it suddenly got set back to his pit box. I'm not sure what happened. Ooh, there you go. There you see the lags.
Yeah, that's connection.
The game
issues.
gets freaked out. Yeah,
absolute connection. Such a shame to see Joe Huang go out of the Sebring Grand Prix and effectively out of the season, because this is the last race. And Andrew Harper, as we speak, Andrew Harper, the second DNF, he had collected damage.
Wow.
From an earlier contact with the barriers, probably, or some kind of incident on the track. And sadly, he is the second victim today. He's the second DNF car.
Yeah, because
such a shame.
I saw Ed Jones passing up the bunch of cars, and I thought something was going on. We didn't see it, but it turns out to be a lot of DNF that happened or occurred while we were showing something else. So yeah, unfortunately news for those drivers. As Didier Coelho, once again, he behind Jason Whited. Story that started, didn't end yet. I think he's either impressed by the livery that he doesn't want to pass it, or something is going on for sure, because Didier Coelho needs to pick up his pace and get past Didier Coelho, unless he's working with him. So yeah, I can't seem to get to a conclusion of what's going on. Because how can you be so close and not so tempted to at least dive in for a move, maybe, possibly? I mean,
possibly the Porsche has a bit more top speed than the Ferrari. You see they're pretty much even on pace, but the Porsche just seems to gap the Ferrari a little bit on the straight. There you see him becoming smaller in the picture, so maybe the Porsche is running maybe less wing than what Didier has on that beautiful red Ferrari. Oh, but the Porsche getting kind of sideways into turn 1. Jason White, the Australian, to keep it on the track, has to take defensive action against Didier Coelho, who's right there.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the...
does not need a second invitation.
That's one of the places where if you make a mistake, you're kind of safe if you just can keep it on track. But we see Jason sailing and getting tremendous better exit when he comes to that corner right there.
Yeah, great traction from the Porsche, so... a really even battle between these two guys.
Yeah, but it's been going on for a very long time, so we'll definitely keep an eye on that one. Yeah, so
Lewis Middleton was one of the first guys to pit, and he's right behind these people battling. So interesting to see how the strategies play out.
1 hour remaining as Tony Talviti sees Carl Middleton right there. This is the battle for the P2. So Tony Talviti looks like he's picking up the pieces and finally getting the laps done.
Oh, as we get yellow flag in sector 2, so something happened there. We're back to green, but maybe someone went slightly wide. Not sure.
I think it might have been Mike. Definitely check on that, but he's now only 4 seconds ahead of Samir, so where's the 50?
Yeah, Samir, either I reckon Mike spun or went wide or made some kind of mistake, probably, because Sam was about 20 seconds behind him and is now suddenly back to less than 5 seconds, so
yeah,
we'll see what happens.
Go back in the time machine. Ooh, there.
Oh yeah, he spun.
Right there.
What happened? Under braking for the right-hander.
Yeah, and then...
What's the deal here? Oh, it locked up the rear brakes and
thankfully didn't collect any damage.
Yeah, it was able to keep it off the wall, so...
Yeah, and a nice 180 right there.
Yeah, it was fast to recover the car from the grass here, and he has to be grateful he didn't collect the wall on the outside, because that would have been game over.
Yeah, he definitely lost about 15 seconds now, so that should be good news for Samir Arshad, as he's sitting P2 right now and trying to chase that P1. So this is what Samir will give him a smile right now and potentially motivates him to put out great laps in order to catch Mike Volek. I think Samir is running a very low aero, a very low downforce setup, which is hindering his... It also plays in the tires, because when you have low downforce, your tires get chewed up very fast. Unlike when having downforce, where your car is less keen to slide. But
actually, I believe that was the right choice, as we see Gil da Silva going into the pit lane for his first scheduled stop. Now, we were saying that Samir was running the low aero package, and I think that's the right move, because with the cool temperature, tires do not degrade as they would do normally, and you also consume less fuel. So that may be the right call.
Because let's not forget, this is see that spark. Let's not forget it's a night race, so the temperature is definitely lower than what you would expect in the day. So I think Samir might have thought about that, and I haven't. So yeah, it's definitely something to look at and play out with. Well, let's see how this will turn out for him.
Yeah, and of course you can see Mike Volek in front of him. That will be even more motivation to keep pushing.
Yes, he sees him right there, so it's just a long straight before he can catch up as we head down to the GT3 leader, 25 and 26 going up seconds ahead of everyone now. Ahead of the P2 guys. So.
Yeah, commanding lead, but that's not gonna be quite enough for him to snatch the championship from Gutierrez. Gutierrez now running in P5, and that's gonna be just enough to avoid Nicola taking the lead in the standings.
As Tony Talviti gets closer and closer to Carl Middleton, this is a battle that is started, and it's definitely heating up for the moment as we see Lewis Middleton passing Jason Whited. Not sure if because Jason Whited pitted or because of racing. Ooh, as we see them, Lewis Middleton.
Lewis Middleton, I told you, he was one of the first stoppers, and he has got by both of Didier Coelho and Jason Whited. Yeah, I mean, so Lewis Middleton making the most of his strategy there, going by two slower cars, as we now see Samir Rashad getting kind of compromised here by the traffic.
I mean, this is what I mean when it comes to getting a pass done, because I think Didier Coelho could have done the same thing and got ahead of Jason Whited, but I believe they're running the exact same pace, which maybe he thought that he could stay behind, save up some fuel. So yeah, there's things. I mean, we never got to interview Didier Coelho, but it would be interesting to see his take on this. There is such things you can't know for sure as just a viewer.
Yeah, and also it's one of those things that driver do not want to share. That's the strategy, especially on a race like Sebring, where the strategy is really played out by a matter of meters and millimeters, tenths of a second, and liters of fuel, possibly. So, we can only guess what the strategy would be for these guys, and I'm thinking that Jason Whitehead and Didier Coelho might just be on a one-stopper.
But Lorenzo, check this out. Didier Coelho was ahead of Jason Whitehead, but the pass that Lewis Middleton did on Didier Coelho gave the opportunity to Jason Whitehead to get past Didier Coelho.
Yeah, and Jason Whitehead making the most of all opportunities, and part of being a racing driver in multi-class racing, you really have to adapt to the situation and be sure to exploit every possibility that you have to gain time or track position. So good stuff from Jason Whitehead there.
As we head down to the possible champion of the season, he's running P5 right now, Lorenzo. So you think that is enough for him to secure the championship?
That's a safe position, and I think he needs to keep his foot down, because although he has a comfortable gap to Joe Brown, let's not forget that strategy is yet to play out for these guys. So anything can happen, and also remember that this is multi-class racing. So if you get caught up in traffic, maybe that's a bad situation for you, and you need to do it all again from scratch. So we'll see how it goes. For sure, Johnny Gutierrez is one hell of a driver, and rightfully so. He's the standings leader. So he's now proving that on the track. As he goes around turn 2 and 3. The BMW lights ablaze, make sure that all the cars see him in the rearview mirrors. Nobody around Johnny Gutierrez at this stage, so that's one more motivation of for him to be cautious and not risk anything at this stage.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know if he knows the points and the system that is going on, but I think he definitely did his.
I think he is well aware of the standings. When a championship is on the line, drivers of Johnny's caliber do not let anything get away from their side. So I reckon Johnny knows what he's doing.
Oh yeah, I would have to agree with that as well. I think he's definitely got an idea. So yeah. Such good memories we have of Johnny Gutierrez in Alpine. Remember him there? That's where the first time we met Johnny Gutierrez as a team, and now we see him again coming up and giving us exciting races.
Yeah, great scraps of him battling all those races, especially Austria. I think Austria was one of the best races we've had
Oh yeah, I
all
have to
season.
agree.
So
That was one of the best, if not.
if you guys missed it, go check SimRacingOnline YouTube channel. They have the VOD of the full race on their YouTube channel, so you might want to have a look at that.
As I think Gutierrez is doing a good job keeping Tony Talviti behind him because he's definitely got that slight better pace than him, but he somehow just can't get enough to get ahead of him. So definitely playing now for the. Wait a minute, that's Tony Talviti catching up to Carl Middleton. I mixed him up with Johnny Gutierrez, so yeah.
Yeah,
It's the same thing applied to Carl Middleton, I guess.
Yeah, Carl Middleton was P2 and he got off to a great start in the first lap. It was P4, I think. Starting from P4, P5, he got by a couple cars, and yeah, he's been P2 for the entire race, and it looks to be the deserved position for him.
Yes, for sure. It's definitely well deserved. As this is the battle for P2 that's been going on again for a long time, same as with Ed and with Didier Coelho and Jason Wilder. As we see the pit stops, and so far the top 15, besides the Silva, nobody has pitted yet. We see Pastori has pitted all the way down into P16.
I think the optimal pit window is from now to about 10 minutes. I think that's the greater, that's the better solution for everyone.
Yeah, as we're about to pass the 15-minute mark. There you go. I like the fact that even though John Vidiest couldn't race, he still showed up. It's definitely something you don't see in a lot of races. So he decided to be there himself. As Talviti still within the second, just can't get enough split stream to pass Carl Middleton because they're running the exact same pace. So it's definitely hard to. You definitely first of all have to focus on yourself to make minimal mistakes, but then again you have to push harder to get as close as you can. So it's not an easy task indeed.
Oh, absolutely not. And what I think is going to happen is that either one of these two will come into the pit lane for the scheduled stop. The other will stay out and play with the strategy. So this all plays into the hands of that particular guy, Giuseppe Pastore, hounding these two by lap after lap after lap. Is now P4, effectively making up 11 places from the start. Of course, Giuseppe missed qualifying, so he started from P15.
Yeah, but it looks like when the tire degradation started playing its role, besides the past Nicola that has run in the 2.00, all the rest are going the 2.1s. So, but Giuseppe is crawling back as we see him getting passed by the leader right now, Mike Vogt. He's crawling back slowly but surely and getting closer and closer to Tony Talviti. So Tony Talviti definitely needs to start thinking about making a move on Carl Middleton, because when Giuseppe gets there, it's going to be a three-way battle. So
oh, for sure. And the pace that Giuseppe has right now, he's probably going to get by these guys unless they make something about it.
Yeah, but the more time Tony Talviti wastes behind, as he gets past, I believe.
Tony Talviti going around. No, Carl Middleton pitted. I told you. Tony Talviti stayed out. Is now gonna play the overcut effectively.
I think that was a smart move, because this is definitely in the margin.
Oh, and sorry to interrupt you, Nas. Mike Volik into the pit lane. So Mike Volik, the race leader, into the pits, and this puts Samir under tremendous pressure to gain time.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward how much time he will spend in the pit. It's going up into 20 seconds, changing now. The left front,
it's both tires and fuel, I think.
Yeah, as you can see in the tower, you can see the time he's spending in the pit as we look at Samir. giving us some spark view right there. As let's see how he's gonna react to it as well. As Mike Volek is exiting the pit right
Gets out now. 41 seconds of stationary time. Almost over 1 minute and 10 seconds into the pit lane.
This is definitely interesting because I think Samir needs to react to that one way or another. I mean, I don't know if staying out is the way to do it, the move just to follow, but we will see. As Carl Middleton also hits out of the pit right now.
Yeah, and a very long stop by Carl Middleton as well.
Yeah, indeed, that was a hefty long stop. But all the cars ahead of him hasn't pitted yet, so let's see when we'll drop him once everyone starts to pit. So if he's looking for one stop, this is looking good, but he still has about 45 minutes to drive. And I believe the soft tires can definitely withstand it, so it's all out push now for Carl Middleton. And hoping others stay out as much as he can so he can make use of the tires, as Giuseppe Pastore, I believe, got past.
And Tony Salvice in the pits, so let's see how the strategy plays out. He was battling with Carl Middleton, don't forget.
That is true. I saw the timer getting close and I thought Giuseppe made a move, but it looks like Tony Talviti from Lorenzo catched that he went to the pit. So, this will definitely be interesting because, like Lorenzo, you mentioned, where this will put Tony Talviti. Ahead of Carl or behind?
Carl surely took a awful lot of time in the pits. I think Tony Talvice will not change tires. Maybe he is, I don't know. It's 33 seconds now of stationary time.
It will be very interesting if he chooses not to.
This elevates Johnny Gutierrez to P3, by the way.
Yeah, but he hasn't pitted, so...
Carl Middleton just around the final corner now.
I
reckon it's going to be very, very close. Tony Talvice is starting out now.
It is. He's getting to the last corner.
I reckon he will be in front. Tony Talvice is, yeah, he will be in front, I think.
So the overcut seems to work better than the undercut.
Carl Middleton will be appearing moments from now.
He's definitely not far, but...
Tony Talvice will make his stick. The overcut paid off.
Yeah, I think Carl Middleton lost about 4 seconds. I don't know if he lost it when he was pitting or something like that. But
I think Tony just made a monster lap as soon as Carl Middleton went into the pit lane. So I think that's a merit for Tony Talvice on the strategy.
Yeah, that might be it. But
and Samir Arshad in the pit lane, leader.
Yes.
After Mike Volek had pitted, so let's see what Sam does.
And Didier Coelho as well. I see that in the timing that he's in the pit. So he's 60 seconds ahead now, dropping to 48, 46. So is Mike Volek, because he was about 9 or 8 seconds ahead. So let's see now if staying out is the right move or not, because Mike Volek is in the last long straight, I believe, before the
he's on the backstretch.
And Samir Arshad's still in the pits, so...
Still stationary in the pits. I think Mike Volek might just have the edge.
Possibly,
what happened? Oh my god.
Took it sideways there. Very dangerous. Ooh, Samir gets out.
Samir's coming out. It's going to be close.
Yeah, but I think he will get ahead of him right now as we see it, yes.
Yeah, Mike Volek retains the lead.
Yeah, so staying out definitely wasn't the right move for Samir. Unfortunately.
No, he gained a lot of time though. He was about 22 seconds behind
it's the same.
Volek.
He didn't gain nor lose, so I don't know. He was about 9 to 7 seconds, and it's still within that time. So, yeah, I mean, it's still okay because you didn't cost yourself anything, so you shouldn't be.
Oh yeah, for sure. And as Joe Brown gets into the pit lane, I wonder how this will affect Johnny Gutierrez's race. Him and the two Pastore guys are the guys that are directly battling for both the team and driver's crown. So surely the guys to watch. That's a long pit stop for Didier Coelho. 42 seconds of stationary time.
That is a long pit stop indeed. He was battling Jason Whited, so...
Oh, and Coelho with the DNF. What happened to him? Nicola Pastore, the GT3 leader, as we speak, comes into the pit lane. This is critical stages of the race.
I'm definitely interested into what happened to Coelho because he was in the pit and then suddenly decides to...
As Giuseppe Pastore as well comes into the pit lane, Johnny Gutierrez will have to react to this.
Yeah, he definitely needs to bring it home because if this is a great moment for him because he's on the back stretch. Now, if he gets this last corner and put in the pit, this might be an okay thing for him. I think he will do the same. Yes,
Yes, he does. Keeps the inside line, or maybe no, he stays out. He stays out.
Very interesting indeed. Not sure if that was the right move or not. As I
Nicola Pastore was so far ahead that he retained the lead.
Yeah, Nicola is already out, but Giuseppe Pastore is getting. I'm not sure if what's the philosophy Gutierrez is following now. I think pitting should have been the right move, but I'm not sure.
We'll see. Of course, Tony Talvice is now 2 seconds behind Lewis Middleton. He will not want to stay there any longer, I think.
As we will do the.
Oh, Didier Coelho stopped. Look at that, he stopped.
Yeah, it's for a long time. Because it didn't trigger a yellow course, so we definitely couldn't. We didn't see it.
Yeah, no, he stopped. He stopped completely.
So he stopped, right? Gets out. Ooh, touches the safety car, and then decides to quit.
I have no idea what that was about, but that's not a good way. Didier Coelho ends his season on a flat note, unfortunately, in Sebring.
Yeah, it looked like it might have been equipment issue of some sort, probably, because he stopped and looked like he was trying to fix something, or I don't know, or IRL stuff. Yeah, he was having a great race. I mean, I was interested to see where he's gonna come up with Jason Wadden pit, but this definitely gives Jason Wadden one of the interesting liveries we have today, a freedom to breathe, I guess.
Yeah, he's effectively safe now from the Ferrari, that's for sure.
Indeed, as he's running P8, as you can see on his windshield. Interesting livery, I can't get enough of it, Lorenzo.
Yeah, it's a pretty good looking livery. Now, what bugs me the most is that Johnny Gutierrez did not pit. I wonder what strategy he's on.
I mean,
it will need. Yeah, he's staying out. He's still staying out.
So Lorenzo, as a, I was gonna say a former, but still a current team manager and engineer when it comes to racing, what would you think of that? Of staying out, and what you guys going on now in Johnny Gutierrez? Not sure if he's running a race engineer, but what would you do if that was your driver right now? What is the call-outs you would be calling out?
I think I would extend as much as possible. If you want to do something, you might as well do it to the fullest. I would extend as much as I can to cover myself up from Talvice and Middleton. Middleton probably. Milliken will not be a threat because he's Johnny's teammate. So, but for sure, Middleton and Talvice are the two strongest competitors who are directly competing against Gutierrez in this race.
So far, Johnny Gutierrez is still holding up, like ahead of Giuseppe. So Giuseppe is getting closer, but Gutierrez is not falling as hard as we expected. So
yeah, although Gutierrez will be behind Giuseppe probably because Giuseppe is already pitted and is on the same pace as Johnny, if not faster. So you know, Johnny will probably sacrifice a podium place for the greater good, which of course is the championship. So we'll see how this goes.
So when Johnny pits, it's gonna be about, he needs to not waste any more than 40 seconds, otherwise he will be behind Barrett Ericsson, potentially behind Tony Talvice. And Tony Talvice, I think he already pitted, is that correct, Lorenzo?
Yeah, that's correct.
So yeah, very ambitious move now for Gutierrez to stay out, so we'll definitely go back to that when he pits. So the ongoing battles so far we have now is Carl Middleton chasing Rob Milliken 2.2 seconds and running potentially and possibly the same pace every lap as we crossed already the 37-minute mark. About more than a half an hour to go for the race. It's still night. I think it's gonna be all out night. It's not gonna go day anytime soon.
It does not to be clear, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think it's following the same IRL race time that they do. Do you have any idea, Lorenzo, on why the race is always held at night?
Usually is just because it's an endurance race, and I am pretty sure this year they started in the afternoon, so the start of the race was clear. I'm not sure they went into the night actually. I remember the 12 hours of Sebring used to be a day-night cycled race. But I'm not sure about this year because I only followed the first 2 hours. Then I had to do something. I don't remember quite what I was doing, but yeah, that's one of the characteristic sides of endurance racing. You always go into the night, and sometimes you even start in the night and then go towards the day, as they do in the 12 hours of Bathurst in Australia.
Yeah, because it always was interesting to me because Sebring is one of the tracks that you know it's going to happen in the night, but I'm not sure like regular or average viewers question about why. So yes, good to know and get some insights as we see Rob Milliken. Looking at that livery of Rob Milliken, is trying to get past of it as quickly as he can.
He's trying to keep Carl Middleton at bay because he knows how that's important for his team, and he's doing a hell of a job right now. Carl Middleton not able to respond as they now go towards the fast sweeping left-handers.
Good job to Rob Milliken there for holding the outside, because
Rob Milliken has been on a great shape the last few races. He was a strong runner in Austria. Was unlucky with a couple contacts, but he was right there with the top runners. Carl Middleton now has a good run on Rob Milliken. Tries to take the slipstream, but Rob Milliken had a great traction as well.
It all depends
Takes now the inside. Makes it stick. Rob Milliken is forced around the outside.
Yeah,
that's the longest route.
But there is a long straight just after, so it's not over yet. Is Rob Milliken gonna lunge it or potentially not? Yeah, he's definitely looking for that inside, but I don't think he decided not to.
Hey, he only got a peek of that, but backs out of it for the greater good. Carl Middleton gets by Rob Milliken. He will now chase Tony Talvice effectively for what is P5 in GT3. Of course, we know that Barrett Erickson and Johnny Gutierrez are the only cars yet to come into the pit lane. I think in the next 3 or 4 minutes we're gonna see both of them coming in.
Yeah, as we see the pass that was done by Carl Middleton, taking the inside, holding the inside, slowing down the car as much as he can, taking the second gear possibly if needed, and looks like Rob Milliken just ran out of track and decided to stuck back in and potentially get the slipstream, decides to peak it at some point right here, and there you go, he does so, but looks like he wasn't gonna do anything, and then thus Carl Middleton taking the P6 and Rob Milliken going back to P7. But I think Tony Talvice is in the pit right now. I'll try to go back in the live feed.
Oh, Tony Talvice DNF'd!
Oh my god.
That plays tremendously into the hands of Johnny Gutierrez. It's not going to have it easy on the championship. That's one less competitor for Johnny to overtake. That's a massive blow to Nicola Pastore, actually. Tony Talvice with the damage. Look.
What had happened to him?
Engine failure, possibly, with the BMW. We know the BMWs are inclined to have those kind of failures during the race.
Yeah, look, can you hear the rev?
Oh, yeah. Whoa. The gear shifts. Yeah, it toasted the engine, I think.
Oh my god. We'll bring it back
to the viewers to listen to that again. Out of the right-hander.
Take a listen at the downshift. you can hear the engine going over revving and toasting it. Fortunate for
Such a shame for Tony Telvice.
Yeah, I mean,
On his comeback, he was en route for possibly a P2 or P3 GT3. Such a shame to see him retire with terminal damage.
but as sad as we sound, Lorenzo, one man wouldn't be as sad to hear about that, and that is Johnny Gutierrez, because
Johnny Gutierrez for sure is now pretty much safe for the championship fight, unless it makes a mistake or DNFs as well. So
yeah,
let's keep an eye on him.
let's hope the commentator curse doesn't take place this time.
Oh yeah, for sure. Stays out for one other lap. I think he's really going long.
He is definitely going for a stretch. I think a pit stop is mandatory, so I don't know what's the strategy here. I don't know if tires can hold that for 92 minutes. I think the max they can do, the soft tires that is about an hour and 15 as a max before they go to 0 or like 10. So yeah, this is a 92-minute race, not an hour race. Very interesting. Joe Brown, right now, with his beautiful livery, chasing a McLaren, a blue McLaren of a driver, Ed Jones, as he bottoms out the car. The sparks definitely look beautiful, but for the driver it slows down the car when the car is scratching all over the ground. But it's definitely one hell of a view for us, the viewers, as we see him once again giving us those sparks. Reminds me of the old Formula 1. I mean, still in the new Formula 1, but the old Formula 1 used to be notorious for that. Sparks, says Joe Brown.
And Joe Brown got a massively good exit from the second to last corner, and he's already ahead of Ed Jones. Look at that.
That slide looks like it boosted him ahead. And got ahead of Ed Jones. I mean, this is what we call a blessing in disguise. Because I think when he lost it, he just decided to just hammer it, and as we know, the way to drive in R-Factor 2 is slightly a little bit gives you that extra speed. So I think the game might have tricked the game to get a slight boost. So very good for Joe Brown as we cross the 30-minute mark. Very happy for him to get up in positions. He made up a position so far. Ed Jones made up about 4, but the most climber is Giuseppe Pastore with 12 paces as Gutierrez finally decides to pit.
Into the pit lane, finally into the pit lane.
Wow.
We'll see how it goes.
Puts his car in a beautiful way, actually. Taking his time. So far, dropping up a place. I think he will lose a place to Barry Ericsson, but Barry Ericsson hasn't pitted yet. So we'll definitely gain that back soon. As Barry Ericsson is making into the last corner, he's about to pass Johnny Gutierrez. Is Gutierrez already out? I don't think he changed his tires, Lorenzo. Another yellow in sector 2. Very interesting strategy by Gutierrez, just throwing everything to keep that P4, because eventually he knows Barry will have to pit, but Carl Middleton is now 20 seconds, dropping to 18 seconds now behind. He has about 28 minutes to go. So if he can be at around half to 7/10 faster every lap, then Carl Middleton will eventually catch up to Johnny Gutierrez, because he already had pitted. And new best lap by DPI. Nothing has been much going on in the DPI class. Mike Volek extending his lead by 35 seconds now ahead of Samir. So Samir dropped quite a long time as he's trying to get past Rob Milliken. De Silva, 2 laps down on his own class. He's actually behind Nicola. I think because he had 2 stops.
Yeah, he stopped twice and 2 very long stops as well. So he's just playing it safe at this stage. His leader in the standings is 27 minutes separate him from a potential title in the DPI class. So if I was him, I wouldn't be pushing at all, actually.
So that leaves us with 3 cars in the DPI.
Yeah, that's Volik, Archa, and Da Silva.
So no matter what Giles does, he will get a podium. I was expecting to see people in DPI, but it looks like since they're free, and from what John VDGuest also noted in the forum in SimRacingOnline, that people, like, I believe they pay for the mod and they want to use it because most of them are possibly like newcomers, not like veterans, and we know that the GT3 pack isn't that old, so a lot of people are jumping on it, so they want to use it, which explains the lack of attendance in the DPI. But yeah, we're missing on some drivers, that is John VDGuest, so it would have been a 4-way battle. Hopefully,
yes, and also the last race sensation, Miguel Santos.
Yeah, Miguel Santos,
the winner
as well.
in DPI class in Spielberg.
Completely forgot about Miguel Santos. Because usually the last races with people, you see a lot of people because everyone want to jump in and it's the last race and a lot of things are on stake. So newcomers that likes to be in because there's not a lot of things on their shoulder. So yeah, very interesting as we see Samir Arshad.
Can you believe that Barrett Eriksson did not pit?
Yeah, that's I saw that also.
That's a weird strategy, but
he's not.
Barrett Eriksson tends to repeat this long first stint and you know, extend as much as he can the first leg of the race.
I mean, if there's a man,
as we have news from what I believe to be Tony Talvice, engine blew up. I was out lapping since turn 1. Yeah, he realized the tire wear was minimal, and he said engine blew up on those gear shifts that we saw on the onboard camera. So it's a confirmed engine failure for Tony Talvice, unfortunately. A great showing nonetheless.
Yeah, it's sad to see that happen, Tony Talvice, and hopefully you can get something for the next possible series you might be joining. Tony Talvice always adds that spice. I mean, he always gives challenge to the faster drivers because he's fast on his own. So it's very unfortunate.
And there we see.
Barrett
Barrett Eriksson finally making his pit stop.
Yeah, Barrett Eriksson.
Johnny Gutierrez elevated to P3 and rightfully so.
Yes, that is well deserved for Johnny Gutierrez. I think his strategy worked actually. Definitely paid off at the end. But Barrett Eriksson lost now, many position dropping back to P6. So as he's getting out,
I wonder what Joe Brown will have to say to Barrett Eriksson, because Barrett Eriksson made a killer strategy right there.
He did, he absolutely
Joe
did.
Brown not able to respond with the Bentley, is now lining up for the final corner, and Barrett Eriksson is already in the turn 3-4 section, so great strategy by Barrett Eriksson. He's the champion of the last endurance series for a reason, that's for sure.
I mean, if there was a driver of the day and I had to vote, I would be always voting for Barrett Eriksson. I mean, he's always killing it with the strategy. He's a man I would not question when it comes to strategy.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's one of the best.
That's absolutely 100% one of the best strategic drivers I've ever seen. Because there is, of course, we know that his pace isn't always the fastest, guys. But I think he accepts that and works with what he has and what he knows he's best at, which is putting strategies and watching out for his car. Because his driving, if you look at it, is actually very smooth, takes care of his tires. I think
and one thing that popped in my mind just now is that even if he controls the pace, he's not always, hot lapping. I remember the race in Road America last season, where he was P5 for most of the race, and his pace didn't seem to be the winning car. But then all of a sudden, when he was battling, he took his elbows out and was able to pretty much sweep the competition. And I reckon he won that race. Actually.
He did, yes, he did.
So Barrett Ericsson is one of the probably the most experienced guys here, and he's always calm, always controlled. But at times, there are certain times where he, you know, shows what he's made of, and is able to battle on the track. So a great way of demonstrating it today at Sebring with another great race.
He's definitely one of those guys that has a lot of fun when he drives, because we know, and because since we have our own team, we know that people get frustrated when their lap isn't as up to par with the others, or their pace is not as good, so they try to stop pushing, making mistakes, get in the car past its limits, and eventually it becomes not a hobby, it becomes a very frustrating thing to do. But it looks like Barrett Ericsson does the opposite of that and enjoys it and embraces it, and plays his game, his mind game, strategy game, and always, it looks like it actually helps him to get 2 consecutive wins, something I'll never forget about Barrett Ericsson, which made him, when I saw those strategies, made him one of my favorite drivers to look out for. Absolutely. Wow.
Just over 20 minutes left. If you're joining, we won't be angry, but for sure you missed out on lots of action. Plenty of drama here at Sebring. Many DNFs, unfortunately. First of which was, I think, probably Joe Huang.
Yeah, it was Joe Huang.
20 minutes remaining now in Sebring. Mike Volick leads in the white and red Acura. Of course, running the what I believe to be Team Penske's livery from 2017, maybe. Samir Arshad in P2. Gil da Silva, the reigning champion in DPI, effectively, even if he will DNF, he will retain the lead in the standings. So we can already start congratulating Gilles for this amazing championship, because he was on point every race. As late of the late stoppers, Rob Milliken, he was the only guy yet to come into the pit lane for the scheduled stop.
Look what it put Barrett to P5.
Yeah, Barrett Ericsson, top 5 finisher for now. I mean, 19 minutes left, and I hope commentator's curse doesn't hit him, but that elevates Joe Brown, P6. The Bentley constantly running in the top 6 all season.
And a great livery indeed.
Yeah, one of the most iconic liveries of these 2 series that we have had the privilege to broadcast.
Salvatore Pastore gets penalty.
Oh, Salvatore Pastore penalty. Maybe speeding in the pit lane. He was in the pit stop last lap.
Exiting. So. Yeah, probably released the pit limiter right before.
Yeah, and that's a drive-through. That's an immediate drive-through for Salvatore Pastore.
Oh, that's bad news for Salvatore.
Unfortunately, Salvatore was the first victim of the bumps. He lost control at the sunset curve, which is the long, almost seems endless when you do it in real life. Right-hander 180-degree corner before the start-finish straight. He collected the tires on the outside pretty hard on both the front end and the and the rear end of the BMW. Fortunately, collecting heavy damage.
As we look at our leader in the GT3, 41 seconds ahead of his brother Giuseppe. So
a great showing by Nicola. He's proving why he's one of the contenders for the crown. Although I don't see Johnny Gutierrez dropping all the way to P7 at this stage. So unless something extraordinary happens, I think Nicola will win the race, but it's gonna be difficult for him to worry Johnny at this point.
Yeah, I mean, Had if Nicola started from the beginning of this series, would eventually been a champion, but yeah, things do be like this sometimes. Because if you miss one race, you lose on the championship, because mostly everyone gets the point up to P20, I believe. I have to check.
I think P15 is the last point scoring position.
Yeah, so it starts from 44, I believe, to 43, something like that. So yeah, one race and you're out. I think to me it's a neat idea to encourage driver to attend the races, but you know, sometimes RL stuff hits you, and there's nothing you can do. But racing is racing, and excuses are excuses, whether they're legit or not.
Yeah, history is not made with ifs and buts, but
Exactly.
even if it's sim racing, that rule is still valid.
It is.
And very much so. Nicola Pastore P1, Giuseppe Pastore in P2, 43 seconds behind Nicola. So that tells you how fast Nicola can go. Johnny Gutierrez about 40 seconds behind Giuseppe. Carl Middleton in P4. Bart Eriksson P5, and Joe Brown tops the top 6 with the Bentley. As it is now, with Samir Arshad in P2 and Gilles da Silva P3, Gilles da Silva will win the championship in DPI, with of course eithracingteam winning the constructors crown in DPI. In GT3 it's much more tucked in between Aether and Flying Crowbar Racing, team that has Johnny Gutierrez and Rob Milliken in it. Great lineup. Johnny Gutierrez currently riding P3, and Rob Milliken being one of the strongest runners in the last few races. Is now P7, I believe. And battling, look at that, as we speak, with Lewis Middleton, BMW coming back alive and putting the pressure on Robert. Lewis Middleton will now have a good run on turn 1, although he's kind of far back.
Yeah, it's a bit far, as we have a long yellow sector 1. Not sure who caused that. And Lewis Middleton now is all over Rob Milliken, trying to get past them, as we had another yellow in sector 1. Unfortunately, there's no way. Ooh, we see someone.
Oh, there's a car in the middle of the track there.
Hopefully we get to see you. Is that
That's
Joe Brown?
That's Joe Brown. That's for position. Joe Brown drops 2 places. So Rob Milliken and Lewis Middleton gets elevated, and Joe Brown loses it. He has no rear wing, and he collects the wall.
I hope he
hard.
doesn't DNF. I think if he can crawl back to the pit. Come on, Joe Brown. All you gotta do, crawl back to the pit as slowly as you can.
And other contact with the tires. No rear downforce whatsoever. The Bentley just snapping out of Joe's control.
Yeah, I mean, look at his rear wing. It doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, he probably spun and hit the wall at the turn 2, 3, and 4 complex. We have said many times that's a very tricky section. Gilles da Silva, meanwhile, hits for the 3rd time.
Yeah, I mean, da Silva has been notorious now for pitting so many times. Been quite known for that, as we see Joe Brown limping his way back to the pit.
Yeah, Joe Brown slowly coming back to the pit lane. That's gonna be very costly indeed for his race. Ed Jones is gaining miles as we speak, as surely these 2 guys won't be caring about that anymore, as they are battling now for what is effectively P6 in GT3 class. Middleton having a look on the inside. Ron Milliken protects the line. Yellow flag in sector 2.
Yeah,
I fear that's Joe Brown again.
It's Joe Brown. There's Lewis Middleton. I think this is the long straight where you get as much slipstream as you can. Then you start about thinking about the long straight that comes like a turn 6, I believe. Because there's no way you can get a pass right here unless your opponent gets a very poor exit. Other than that, it becomes very hard. You see Joe Brown still limping his car. Has to watch for his brakes.
Now on the backstretch.
This is very nervous to drive a car with no wing.
Yeah, especially on Sebring's bumps. That's not what you want to do, and he almost collects the wall again.
Yeah, but managed to keep it smooth. Hopefully he doesn't get a penalty on that. Slows down in time. Yeah, that's great. Hopefully he does, because DNF is something that we don't want to see. We want drivers to finish their race and be happy about it, because DNF it always hurts, no matter who you are.
Yeah, for sure. Especially if you were P5 and you know, en route for a very much high points finish.
And right as he
Mike
stops,
Bolick, meanwhile,
yeah, Mike Bolick's
untouchable today, 43 seconds clear of P2.
This is the first time we see him in DPI, isn't that correct?
Yeah, it's the first race he does in the prototype class, and what a showing he has put.
Exactly, what a way to do your first DPI race and potentially get a win. Definitely not trying to throw the guy into the bus of the commentator curse. Yeah. Let's just say the man did a good job today. Fantastic job. Hold on.
Yeah, absolutely. He battled for P1 in qualifying with Samir, and managed to obtain a great opportunity to overtake the Italian driver.
Ooh, should have not spoke, Lorenzo.
And it was able to keep it outside the walls again. We have seen Mike Bolick lose it in that particular corner earlier in the race, and he has been lucky for the second time. I mean, lucky. I say lucky, but I mean good on his part to keep it off the wall. As we see Lewis Middleton coming to the pits for a second stop, it was probably short of fuel. Now coming to the pits for a splash and dash.
Can you believe, Lorenzo, that Mike Bolick made a spin and still 32 seconds now ahead of Samir?
Yeah, he lost 9 seconds doing that, but he was safe anyway.
He's about to pass Ed Jones. Ooh, goes.
Oh, and that's a hairy moment for Mike Bolick. Misunderstanding between him and the McLaren driver.
Mike Bolick is definitely playing with fire. He's definitely going for moves you shouldn't be doing when you're 30 seconds ahead. Because that gives nothing but good hopes for Samir. I know we're 9 minutes to go in the race, but one more major mistakes for Mike Bolick and Samir. He will be in the targets of in the hood of Samir, so we need to watch out on keeping his car on very consistent pace and not rush things out, even if it means taking it slowly sometimes.
Yeah, and Mike Bolick will be surely doing that now that he has had a few wake-up calls.
And why is Giuseppe only half a second behind Nicola?
I reckon Nicola had an issue.
So he lost 60 seconds?
Or maybe, yeah, I'm not sure what happened there.
Yeah, this is a penalty for Nicola. Oh my god.
Oh.
What?
Maybe track limits.
What is going on?
And that's gonna be a massive blow to the team itself, eithracingteam, because that puts Johnny Gutierrez back into the equation for P1.
It's a drive-through.
P2, sorry.
It's a drive-through, right? So he's still safe. It's not a stop and go. It's a drive-through. So he's still safe.
Yeah, he got lucky that wasn't stop and go, because look at Johnny Gutierrez coming towards the start-finish straight.
Things are unveiling at the last stages.
Yeah, it's not over until it's over.
Exactly.
Giuseppe Pastore, by the way, started in last place in GT3.
And
he's now leading. Wow. He's now leading the GT3 class.
Is that a drive from last to first?
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't expect that.
Oh, me neither, for sure.
As Gilles de Silva makes his way around Giuseppe, the current leader right now. Wow, this is
Slightly
a...
more than 7 minutes left into the race. If you guys want to join us for the post-race interviews, of course, join Aether Racing Team on Discord, link in the chat. We will interviewing a few drivers from the championship. If you want to join the community, you can still check us out on Discord as well as Instagram and Twitch, of course, to stay tuned for all the broadcasts incoming. We have a few surprises for you, so stay tuned. Yeah, go check SimRacingOnline. They produce very good racing on many sims, not only R Factor 2, but also Assetto Corsa and Project Cars, and also Automobilista too. I believe they have a few series going on there. Go check them out. Go check their YouTube channel as well, where you can find all the races from this series, the IMSA series, as well as the previous S397 Endurance Championship, multi-class racing with the LMP2 prototypes and the GT3 cars. Oh, and Mike Volick almost going off the track there. Yeah, Samir Arshad is now 31 seconds behind him, but that's gonna be more than enough for Mike to retain the lead if he can keep the car on the track. Of course, tires are now probably in a bad condition for the DPI cars. Not sure about how old they are on Mike Volick's car, but for sure that's gonna be an issue all the way until the end of the race.
As we see Mike Volick going into the pit for unknown reason. That will give Samir the position to get past now. Takes the lead in less than 3.
Mike Volick was short of fuel then with 3 minutes to go. That's a heartbreak for Mike Volick. Samir Arshad will be gifted the race victory if he can keep it on the track.
Yes, of course. I mean, it's 3 minutes to go, so nothing Mike can do. But I'm not sure why did he pit now. His car seems to be jacked. He's changing tires as well. Not sure what's going on. You think he didn't change his tires when he stopped, and possibly now they were so low that he thought it was so...
I think he was short of fuel actually.
Wow. But why did he change his tires? As we see,
I have no idea.
That was Gutierrez who was off track. Still holds his P3. Good job to Gutierrez today. Definitely was, I wouldn't call it lucky, but he played his cards and they turned for his favor. So the whole field is pretty much spread out. We've got the leader, the DPI class, Samir Arshad, gets a last-minute lead after Mike Volick decided to pit for unknown reasons for now, and then puts him about 46 seconds now ahead of Mike Volick with only 2 minutes to go in the race. So that should secure the win for Samir, as Mike Volick put an outstanding performance today. Fully deserved the win, but not sure what happened at the end there. As Lorenzo mentioned, might have been short on fuel. but still a good result for a first race in DPI. I mean, potential win, P2, always a great thing to see. The Silva, 3 pit stops, and I believe it's 4 pit stops if I'm not mistaken. Something we don't see a lot for quite some time, because that's quite a number of pit stops in one race, a 92-minute race that is. So definitely was having his issues right there for sure. As we head down to the leader, Nicola Pastori is now followed by Giuseppe Pastori. They're both leading P1, P2. After, I think Nicola was a long way ahead, but he had a penalty, a drive-through, and then puts him back. But I think Giuseppe swapped place with his brother to keep him in the fight for the championship. But I don't know if that's going to do him anything. But yeah, Nicola gets his lead back and Giuseppe yields in the P2. Johnny Gutierrez, P3, the champion of this series, if he keeps his position, or up to P6 from what I heard from Lorenzo. Very fast drivers, plays his cards, puts a strategy, throws all in, and definitely gets his elbows out when the time comes to do so. A podium today is something I'm sure he would be happy about. And Carl Middleton is now sitting in P4, about to be passed by P2 and the DPI class, Mike Volek. Strong race for Carl Middleton. Made a lot of places today and got himself into the P4. But let's not forget our man of this race, Barrett Eriksson, the strategic driver. Always knows how to play his strategy, and it's putting him in a quite acceptable position, which is a P5. And I think for Barrett Eriksson it's a good result. As we reach the end of the race, I think Samir crossed the start-finish line as well as Nicola. They crossed at the same time, so here's the race winners today: Samir Rashad in the DPI and Nicola in the GT3. Wow, what a race, what a race. As Johnny Gutierrez also gets his podium. The Silva, I think, is about to cross at any time. Yeah, still doing his laps. Yeah, 2 stops for Mike Volek, 3 stops for the Silva, and 1 stop for Samir. Wow, that's that's actually in order. Yeah, but it's unfortunate to see 6 DNFs today. Jason Watt, Tony Talviti with the engine issue, Didier Coelho with the network issue, I believe, Andrew Harper and Wang. And it's a shame we didn't see the VDS as well due to back issue, I believe, or something like that, so they didn't allow him to race today. But yeah, it's a great race for today, absolutely. As you see Nicola putting his cool down lap to bring that car home and celebrate his win. Definitely not gonna help him in terms of the championship, but Gutierrez is the champion of this series. Well done to him. Well deserved. Astonishing and absolute driver to see in every league. You would want to see this guy. Always brings action and things you would want to see in a race. And your champion in DPI is the guy, Chiles de Silva. Showed up every race, and because the others had missed on some of the races, it turned out in his favor and put him as a champion. So there you go. Don't have to be the fastest every time to possibly become a champion in SimRacingOnline. So it's definitely an interesting way things plays out. So yeah, it's definitely good for everyone, because you know there's a place for everyone, and there's always potential for you to snatch wins and possible championships as well. Nothing is out of your reach. As long as you believe it, you can reach it. And that puts us at the end of our race and our series. I definitely enjoyed it, and I quite hope our viewers trusted ones and new ones and everyone who been with us since the start, or those who joined lately. Hope you enjoyed this series. I enjoyed it. I'm sure Lorenzo did as well. It's been quite a journey, and there's many more to come in the future. So definitely look out for that, and don't miss out on that for sure. We will get you the results very soon. As we try to get the results out, we're waiting for drivers to potentially join us, and then we will see their reaction on what happened in the race. As we switch down to the race results, Samir Arshad gets the win at the last minute in 3 minutes to go in the race, followed by Mike Volek in P2. He well deserved that win today, but unfortunately that pit at the end cost him the win. Followed by the Silva, he's not shown because it says a different class, although it's not. And followed by Andrew Harper and John VD Guest gets the points as well. Moving on to the GT3, we got Nicola Pastori, our race winner, 44 laps. Johnny Gutierrez, P3. Giuseppe, P2. Carl Middleton, absolute performance today, P4. Barry Erickson puts him in the P5. Rob Milliken, P6. Lewis Middleton, P7. Ed Jones, after quite a race for him today, P8. Joe Brown with the last crash that cost him a lot of positions. He was P6 eventually, turned out to be P9. And P10 for Salvatore Pastori. And P11 Jason White DNF'd, Tony Talviti DNF'd to the engine, and Didier Coelho DNF'd as well. Joe Wang, the first DNF of this race, and that is your results for today. As we have our race winner, Nicola Pastori. Not sure if he can hear me or not, but
yeah, we hear.
Well, thanks for joining us, Nicola Pastori. Congratulations on the win. Wasn't Johnny Gutierrez wasn't in a position for you to get the championship, but still was a absolute performance. Not after that penalty, of course, but overall it was good. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it was a really a little bit boring race for me. In the end, we won. I won. I wanted to wait Giuseppe, and then while I was waiting for him, I got the last cut, and then I got the drive-through, and yeah, that's why I lost so much time, because I literally waited to to drive together till the end, you know.
I can definitely understand that, Nicola. The race, many things changed. At the first, you were absolutely ahead of everyone, but it looks like you had a penalty. Is that correct?
Yeah, you mean in the end?
At the end, yes.
Yeah, because of the cuts, because I wanted to wait for Giuseppe to drive together close by to the finish line, and yeah, I got a little bit distracted for going so slow, and I got a cut, and yeah, that was the last cut that I could have, and yeah, that was then a drive to penalty.
Well, you still got your win, Nicola. So definitely nothing to lose, nothing lost, indeed. Actually,
Yeah.
so still good performance. We have Giuseppe as well, who got P2. That was quite a result for the day to Giuseppe.
Yeah, I'm actually happy because I didn't practice at all till the warm up, so I knew that I couldn't win, but I was quite happy. I could pass the guys in front of me and finish second.
Yeah, well, you were one of the most climbers in this race. You climbed up, I believe, about 12 places. So you were the man that started from the last, possibly to the first. But I believe you gave your place to Nicola. Can you talk us through what happened at the end?
Yeah, I mean, I said to him like 10 minutes before the race when the race was pretty much over, because he was like 40 seconds in front of me. So I told him, yeah, wait for me, and we will do like we will go till the end together. But he got distracted, and suddenly he got a penalty. So and he was quite angry, of course. And then but of course I waited for him. That was no problem for me. And then that he could pass me again. So yeah, I mean, it was a deserved win for him. He did an amazing qualifying lap. Yeah, it was like it should be.
That is the one way to end it, I guess. I mean, I understand you were leading, but I think you felt that the position was deserved for your brother, so you decided to just give him the position, I guess.
Yeah, I joked with him, let's fight. No, let's fight. But he said no. He said, no, I waited for you. But why am I fighting? I'm already won the race. So I said, yeah, you're right.
I can
And so,
see.
I mean, it was a little
laps
bit of a
to
game.
corner.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, I mean, he deserved that. He was the faster one. I mean, it was like joking for me, and because we have quite a gap behind us. Johnny was pretty fast, and so suddenly at the end we had to hurry up, because it was like 5-6 seconds behind us. We didn't realize that, and then we entered the race like I think 6 seconds in front of him. So
Yes.
it was a bit a mess, but
No,
I mean, we had fun at the last lap of the championship.
I absolutely had
Because
fun commentating on. Yeah, go
I
ahead, Samir.
think Nas didn't show that, but we waited like 20 seconds to finish the race 3 wide all together, me, Nicola, and Giuseppe. That's why the gap with the Gutierrez went down. But it was safe.
Well, Samir, definitely want to know your perspective, because a lot of things happened in the race, and we saw you getting that win right at the end.
I was just waiting. My
Interesting.
goal was just to. In the first part, I was leading. I got a 10-second lead, but then I had the issue with a few GT3. But from lap 1 to the last lap, I never pushed the car. I was always in the race lane or even ultra lane just to save fuel. I did 2 more laps in the first stint. That was already not a win, but definitely 70 or to 80% of the win, because he was pushing on the race mode, and he didn't save much fuel as me, and he definitely had to pit one more time right at the end, like 1 or 2 laps before. My goal was just stay between 30 or 40 seconds, because from race lane to race there is a big difference, but the gap actually increased in the last part of the race, just because I had some issue with passing Luis Middleton and Didier Coelho twice, and I got some damage, and my pace was half a second to a second slower. But apart from that, I was in control of my race and of the win, because he had to give me at least 50 to 40 seconds to win the race.
I mean, Samir, it looks like at the first you had all the tools to fight Mike Volek, and it sure was a heated battle.
I didn't want to fight. That was the plan. I was just doing my own race.
Well, I can see that it was a big smile on you when you saw Mick Volek go into the pit at the last 3 minutes in the race, and you snatching that lead. We definitely caught that on stream, so it was I imagine it was a happy moment for you.
Yeah, I was just waiting. I thought he would have pitted a lap earlier than what I thought, but at the end we did more laps, and I also did my last lap on 2 minutes and 20 seconds. So we waited a long time, and we lifted. We did everything to just finish the race one lap earlier, but I, he lost the race just because he pushed it too much. This car used too much fuel, and 90 minutes it's a bit tricky on any track, especially Sebring, having the two straight, and you cannot fuel save as much as you can on the other one.
Hi. Stand. I take it you can hear me, yeah? Oh, good, because I haven't done this before. Yeah, look, there's never ever been a less deserving champion, trust me. Pretty well anyone else in the grade deserved this more than I did.
You did
Yeah,
great.
especially,
No.
especially
The driver
John
who win,
and
who finished the
Andrew.
race. So
Yeah, I think it was more other people's misfortune than anything to do with me. But while I'm here, I'd like to thank all the people at SRO for putting this on, and you guys for broadcasting it. You're doing a brilliant job.
No, we thank you, Gilles, for producing some great racing. I think you should be proud of the results. I think.
I am proud, you know. I'm very.
I think. I think
but
you should be. You should be very, very proud of the fact that you beat people that on pure pace they're maybe faster than you are, but to finish first you have to finish, and that's the way to go.
I'm definitely the tortoise in this series. You know, I just kept going, tried not to fall off, and I admit today I did not. Well, I cannot set anything up, but I certainly wasn't going for speed. I was just going for stability. Take it any way you can get it. Yeah. It was lapping one of the GT3s, and he was doing his utmost to get out of the way, but I didn't really want to go past where I was. Anyhow, I did go past and straight into the wall, so I had to pit. It took a long time in the pit, and then at the end I come in just for fuel, no tires, but I didn't realize I had a bit of damage, so I was in the pits for a bit longer that last time. Sorry? Yeah, I was trying to make it on one pit stop, but I just could not make the fuel last. Anyway I tried it, it was always 1 or 2 laps short. So I just went for a 2-stop setup. Yeah, Lorenzo, I'd like to thank you for speaking to you earlier. Thanks for your comments.
Yeah, man, that's my pleasure.
I'd like to a question for the Pastori brothers. Yeah, are you guys enjoying your visit to planet Earth, and is it anything like your own planet? I mean, there's no way you guys are human. You're just so good. Unbelievable, guys. Brilliant.
You.
I love watching you.
Yeah, thank you, mate. I mean, it's like hard work, you know. We like to win, we like to be fast, and we don't like to lose. So if you want to win, you have to work hard and you have to practice and such things. Then we are lucky to have.
I think no matter how much work you do, you got to have the talent, and you guys
Yeah,
have
of course.
Of course.
Thank you very much.
But we have a great manager like Lorenzo. You know, he pushed us every time on our limits. So it's he is doing a good job as well.
It's only his.
That's a lie. That's a lie. I'm not. I didn't push anyone.
You,
Yeah,
your,
I
your
will,
dad,
but the merit goes
your
to the
dad's not
drivers.
exactly slow either. I'm saying your dad's not exactly slow either. He's not too bad. You guys aren't by any
Thanks,
chance
mate.
identical twins. They
Yeah,
are
we are
twins,
twins.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Identical
Yes.
twins, yes.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
But
but
Nicola-
you
yeah,
won't
you're brilliant.
you
Nicola
won't
is the
believe
faster
me.
one.
You won't believe me, but there are many drivers in R-Factor 2 that are even much faster than us. So
Yeah, it is hard to
Oh,
believe.
this-
I thought
yeah,
Johnny was the best, and he is right up there. He is brilliant. But you
yeah,
guys
that's
got
right.
something about you, you know.
Yeah, thank you.
It is, yeah. And can I just say, Gilles?
Gilles. Yeah,
Gilles.
like
Yeah, that's it. Yep. Yeah,
like
that's it.
Gilles Villeneuve. Yes.
Oh no. I tell you, your English is a damn sight better than my Italian. Well, yeah, I've hoped to be doing the GT1. You know, I'll be
Oh, that's for sure. We will be broadcasting that, so
yeah.
I look
Just
forward to
be,
seeing you there. With
just be kind to me every time you slap me, will you? You know?
it's no need to do that. You're a great driver. You're proving that here. You're the champion for a reason. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, look, I'm making the most of it because I never ever believed this would happen. I certainly not. This is my actually first series I completed, and I do not expect to win again. And now it's a bit of an inside joke, but I'm gonna go and try and find a rainbow lady. No, sorry, a rainbow umbrella. Well, I'll be trying my best no matter what, and I haven't driven the GT1s before, so that's going to be something fun, you know. But definitely looking forward to it, and absolutely, definitely looking forward to watching the broadcast you guys are putting out. Again, brilliant job, guys.
yeah, thank you very much, man. We
Cheers.
appreciate it.
Okay. Bye. It is. It is very entertaining. Love it.
Yeah, beautiful championship, great multi-class racing all the way. Probably, I must say, I enjoyed this IMSA series slightly more than the previous one. Don't know why, but I just have this feeling. But both series were very good, and obviously SimRacingOnline, they are such amazing people, and we thank them so much. For having, they gave us this possibility way before we even thought about broadcasting races like this. So it's merit goes to them, and of course we look forward to broadcasting more and more series in the future. And GT1 will be the first, beginning on the 26th, I think, of June. So less than 2 weeks from now, which is great because I can't wait. So I'll make sure I'll see you guys there, and stay tuned. Of course, you can check us out on all the social media channels and Discord, Twitch, Instagram, whatever. Also check out SimRacingOnline.co.uk. They have pretty much every big simulator game going on their website, from R Factor 2 to Project Cars to Assetto Corsa, Automobilista, whatever you want to play. So yeah, give them a shout out, and because they're very passionate about what they do, and they're very nice people, as you can hear. And I think that's it for today. Thank you for following us all the way. I'll see you guys in the next one, I guess. Oh yeah, for sure.